Hey guys, what's up? Well, today we're going to do some suspension tuning and show you a real easy, effective way to do this so that all your shocks get properly balanced for tension. About, I guess, a week ago, I finally decided to stiffen things up because one of the problems I've had with this thing with the stock's suspension setup is they leave the adjusters all the way to the top, so it makes for a very plush suspension, which has some good points, really good articulation. However, it causes my front end to always drive into my steering rods when I'm, at certain angles, right? Just way too spongy for me. So I had set the height up at one point to where it is now, and I'll give you an exact measurement of that so you know exactly where things are sitting, because I found this was good for doing my drifting video with that I recently did, but not so good when it came to much of anything else. So what I'm doing here is I'm using a set of digital calipers to do the measurement with. And so what I've set this thing at for all four is 11.1 millimeters. And that's fine if you're going to do a little bit of jumping with this thing. It's going to absorb the jumps really good. Even if you're just small jumping, better than having a stock setup, which is way too soft for any kind of even small little tiny ramp jumps. And like I said, good for doing drifting with, because it's nice and stiff in that sense, for at least on ice. We are talking about ice drifting, by the way, not regular drifting. This thing's not made for that. But I find that when it comes to the whole crawling aspect of things and trying to get articulation going, this now becomes a little bit too stiff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the depth halfway of what it is now. So right now it's at 11.1, so I need basically 6.5, but 6.55 is about what I need. So I'm going to set my digital calipers down, and we're going to see what that actually gives us for softness and still avoiding bottom outs, hopefully. Oh, I gotta reset this thing. I accidentally zeroed it. Make sure before you use your calipers to make sure everything's bottomed out and zero the dial. So 6.55. Alright, we're going to leave it at 6.56. Close enough. So all you got to do is start unscrewing the shaft ring counterclockwise. And you're going to want to use the back end because it's the easiest way to get at it. That one's good. So we'll come around, we'll do the other side. And what you're doing is you're fitting it on the top of the nut to the underside of the cap. Actually missed that one a little bit. That one's good now. Right there. Okay, that one's good. Now we'll check and see how the suspension is sitting after it's done. The back ones are a little trickier to get around for some reason, but not a big deal. Now I like to set my shocks all at the same tension, just because it balances things properly. But you do need to set your fronts both the same and your rears to the same where you want them sitting at. But I want the same amount of movement all the way around, so I'm going to set all four of them all exactly the same. There we go. That's better. That's still pretty good. It's a lot better. Articulation is not too bad. Now let's get our battery in there. Now I have two different batteries I use in my deadbolt because I've been doing some experimenting. I have a 3-cell battery that I usually use the most. It gives me lots of power, lots of speed. I've also started using this NIM pack because it's a lot heavier and I need the weight. And we all know we need weight in trail trucks. So I've been using this NIM pack. Now it's a 6-cell 3800 milliamps, but it's 6-cell NIM, so that's going to offer me 7.2 volts as opposed to a 3-cell LiPo. Okay, and this 3800 actually gives me a lot more runtime than the 3-cell, and I'm still getting power, I'm still getting speed, and I'm getting that weight that I need too. So that budges it a little bit, so that's good. So now that's going to give me some decent articulation. As decent as it gets anyways for a trail truck. I mean, this is not a crawler, so that'll work actually really well. Still got lots of playroom, lots of good front room, a little more spongy. So I think I'm going to leave this like this for a while and then give her a try on the trails and see how it does. You know, but I mean, springtime isn't anywhere near yet, but I'm also going to try this on, you know, outside on other little terrains and stuff and see just how well it does for just, you know, moving around. It's leaning well, it's in a steep turn, that sort of thing. I'll try it again too with the stock tires. Now the stock tires are very narrow, and I found the truck also very tipsy because it does make for a very narrow wheelbase. But I mean, these are built on scale realism, right? I found that these Red Cat HSP Brontosaurus tires actually do a really sweet job for traction and for stability. You know, but I will still try the other tires again anyhow, and I do want to try them on the ice to see how the stock ones do. Anyhow, another scale accessory, at least I'm going to call it that. Got this little flashlight. A buddy of mine recently called me up and said, "Hey Cav, I got a pile of stuff for you I think you'll like." And I thought, cool. So in amongst that was this brand new lantern. It's battery operated. It just uses a single cell of its own style. But I thought, hey, this thing's really super small. And it's pretty much, well, it's a little bit bigger than, a 110 scale size thing. But it's still not bad for size-wise, and gives me another accessory there. So I'll hook that up somewhere in the truck when I get around to it. But anyhow, so that's our video, was just to show you guys how to precisely do your suspension tuning as far as springs go for adjusting your tension up, right? You can go with different shock coils too, which make differences. You got different shock mounting positions too that you can play with on the truck. Right now I'm just kind of leaving everything the way it is stock and just seeing how things go. Eventually I'm going to be upgrading to all alloy shocks too, and other upgrades I have in mind for the deadbolt down the road as I can afford to do it. So, but for now the truck is basically still 100% stock, with the exception of course, tires. So, and my little bumper mod for the back. And this bumper mod is working out really good right now. So it's definitely a keeper on the truck until I get my metal bumpers that I'm going to end up eventually putting on this thing. So, but there you go, guys. Let me know what you think. Catch you in the next video.